This regular Raven fan coming back at y'all, and this video is about Earl Thomas. Anybody that's been paying attention, any of my Ravens fans have been paying attention. Earl Thomas was he was sent home after a practice scuffle with Chuck Clark. I want to know how the people feel about it. I'm gonna let y'all know how I feel about it personally. I'm a very big Earl Thomas fan in general, football fan. However, I never thought we should have signed Earl Thomas. I never thought we needed him. Honestly, and I know I've only been making videos for a short period of time. I've always been a Chuck Clark fan. I thought we should have promoted Chuck Clark instead of signing Earl Thomas. I never liked Jefferson. And I honestly believe we have another safety on the roster by the name of Deshaun Elliott, who I believe has the potential to be a star in the NFL. He's just been snake bitten by injuries. I mean, this dude is always around the ball. If anybody that's a Ravens fan, if you want to keep your eyes on number 32 whenever you get to see us play, if you go, if you get to see any practices, any scrimmages, if you see a game, just keep an eye out for number 32 and watch his impact. The dude is a baller, man. I love Deshaun Elliott's game. I just wish he didn't get injured. I think when the Ravens signed Earl Thomas, it was a bit of a panic move because they got outbid on C.J. Mosley. And I think that they didn't want to go into the same situation they went into when both Ray Lewis and Ed Reed left. You had lost C.J. Mosley in the middle, and then Eric Weddle also walked in free agency. I think they kind of panicked, not knowing what they had in the young guys, not knowing that Chuck Clark would be a serviceable starter, and not trusting Deshaun Elliott. And for good reason, because like I said, he's been injury prone. But I think that, his injuries they've been freak injuries, broken forearm, and I think he had a knee, But other than that, I just think this kid has the potential to be a superstar. I don't think we need an Earl Thomas on this roster. I understand that there's a money thing, and no franchise is going to let a player walk and pay him $10 million. I get it. If you're paying somebody $10 million, you want him on the field. However, I just don't think he fits. He's more of a freelance type safety. And in this defense, when you're doing so many different exotic things, you can't really freelance because everybody else this is a moving parts defense. Earl comes from Seattle, and then in Seattle, they basically play single high safety. So he could freelance because everybody knew what Seattle's defense was going to be, and you just assumed that they would be in that defense. So it allowed Earl to freelance a little bit. He knew where everybody was going to be at all times. Well, in this defense, because there's so many moving parts, you've got to do your job. Because your job may just be to throw the quarterback off on a particular play. You got to do your job in this defense. This isn't a freelance type defense. Ed Reed was able to freelance in his younger days because Ed Reed had the speed. There we go with that word again, speed. But Ed Reed had the speed to cover the entire backside of the defense. Earl Thomas, at this stage of his career, coming off broken legs and ankle injuries, he doesn't have that same speed anymore. So he can't really cover as much distance. So if he gets out of position, it's good night. Just like on a practice play that caused the scuffle in the first place. The practice play was a blown coverage in which Earl Thomas gambled. He jumped the shallow route. Quarterback Lamar Jackson, who had his eyes on the shallow route, went deep. And again, you can't freelance in this defense. Like I said, I love all that Earl Thomas has done in the NFL. I love him when he was younger. I think he's a hell of a football player in a certain defense. I just don't think at this stage of his career, we need an Earl Thomas. I wish we didn't tie up so much money into Earl Thomas. But again, I think it was a panic move. The team wanted a veteran, kind of a quarterback type of a defensive player that they thought Earl Thomas was from looking at the tape. And they just panicked. Like I said, they had lost CJ. We didn't really know what we had at the safety position because Eric Weddle was a free agency. He was gone. So you wanted to bring in somebody. They panicked, and they signed Earl. I think it was a bad signing because, like I said, and then you're holding these young guys back. Luckily, there was an injury to Tony Jefferson, which allowed Chuck Clark to get on the field to show what he can do. And again, anybody who's been rocking with me since my Facebook days, I've been telling people Chuck Clark needed to start way before he was a starter. I called that one, again, because I trust my eyes. I actually watched this game, and I watched these guys play and how they fit into certain schemes and defenses, and I just knew that Chuck Clark would fit perfectly into this defense because Chuck Clark is a guy who you can rely on to get everybody lined up and know where everybody's at. See, we already had it, we just didn't know it. Guy hadn't been on the field. I just wish that they hadn't signed Earl Thomas, but I want to know, what does everybody else think? Do you all think this is something that can be water under the bridge? Because keep in mind, Earl Thomas got into it with Big Baby. For those who don't know, Big Baby is Brandon Williams. He got into it with Big Baby last year because he didn't hustle. He didn't chase down a play. Now you're getting into it with the whole defense, and I've read that the leadership council, which is made up of players on the Ravens team, I've read that the leadership council has gone to management and said we don't want the guy around. I've also read that the players on the Ravens team no longer see Earl as that top flight defensive player anymore. They don't see him as that anymore. So what do you all think? Do you all think that this is something that'll just be water under the bridge, and once the season gets rolling, Earl Thomas will, go back to his Pro Bowl form? Or do you think that maybe the Ravens should consider trying to move Earl Thomas? There are some teams that need safeties. I don't know if these teams are going to want to pay that, that tab of $10 million. But I think that the Ravens should explore trading Earl. You've got Dallas sitting out there need a safety. You've got some other teams that need a safety right now. What do you all think? I don't know about trading to Dallas because you'd have to see him again this year. And you'd have to see him again this year, and he knows the defense and offense. So I don't know about that one. But anyway, tell me what y'all think. This is Regular Raven Fan coming back at y'all with another video. As I always say to people, trust your eyes. Look at this game and just trust what you see. You don't have to be an expert to understand this game. It's pretty straightforward. Just look at it, watch it, and trust what you see. Don't let nobody tell you what's going on. Observe it for yourself. And I'm out of here, Ravens for life. Number 8, Lamar Jackson is my quarterback. But again, this video is about Earl Thomas. I want y'all to tell me what y'all think, if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me. Come back at me, let me know how you feel. Hit the like button, and we out here.